before I get into this chapter of Mushoku Tensei, um, after this chapter, this month, we'll go on break, and it won't be back until February. So it's taking a 2 month break. And in my opinion, that's not bad. Because do you remember when the anime was announced and the last chapter then was chapter 50 and it took months, and I mean months, for it to come back. And it was just, mm. Took them months for that stuff to come back. I'm like, oh my god. But anyway, so let's get on this chapter. Not much really happened in the chapter beginning, only showing, the usual what's going on. The importance of this arc is Rudy is living his life the way he never did in his past life. He became a shut-in when he was in middle school, I believe. Yeah, it was middle school, because he was severely bullied. So now he's living out his life with his friends, his colleagues, people from different ethnic groups and backgrounds and ideals of culture and religion coming together, helping out a friend in need. And Nanahoshi is usually a person who's by himself, an introvert, but here she is hanging out with people, singing, dancing, the awesome Bonnie Gandhi's there, and even some flirtation with Selfie. I mean, you know, one thing that I always wondered, and someone I remember years ago asked me this, is do you think elves like having their ears nibbled on? Like what? Do you think the ears to an elf is their very sensitive spot, the spot they like, and it gets them going? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I don't think I've ever seen it in any other fictional series with elves where they like have their ears bent or nibbled on, you would say. But this answers the question. Do elves like having their ears nibbled on? Is it some type of thing that feels good like having your ear scratched? Or is just a more uh secular thing? But either way, it's very interesting. Like, so this is what gets Selfie going. It's her ears, and believe it or not, the other two girls have their own thing, but which I will not reveal because that's way too far into the future. But anyways, this itself was just nice to see. Really just relaxing, sitting back. They're just enjoying music, telling jokes, and stuff. Good stuff. It's the ending part of this chapter. It's the true meat and potatoes. And that is when our boy, I mean our man, yeah, you can't call him a boy, that's insult. He is a man. He is the best man. Rudyard shows up. Rudyard is here. And not just him, but Rudy's sisters. We have the amazing Aisha and we have Norn. Like, damn, why you getting going a third degree? In a way, um, this pretty much shows, I believe, the beginning of Volume 11. People, Volume 11. I think the manga is also going on break because they don't want to spoil too much. Was the good stuff of the anime? A lot of people, in their opinions, I've seen on forums, have agreed upon this, that they really start liking the series again during volume 10 and up. They say volumes, not including 7, volumes 8 and 9, it was a bit slow, and some people didn't enjoy the slice of life, school life thing. I myself enjoyed it because it introduced these very important characters in Rudy's life. And they'll be there in his life for the rest of it as well, and as long as the rest of the story. And some even beyond that, is all I'm saying. So I myself enjoy it, but not a lot of people did. But volumes 10 and up, it's going to be where people are starting enjoying, you had the wedding thing and stuff, which unfortunately they didn't explore it that much on the manga. They'll probably do it in the anime. Who knows? The anime has been doing a good job at adapting the 9 novels, so they'll probably do it there. We'll have to wait and see. But now we're entering Volume 11, and Volume 11 is very, very emotional in a way. You say it's very emotional, certain things that happen. it really focuses on these two sisters in a way, where one will be Little Miss Perfect, good at everything, but all she wants to do is help her Oni-chan, while the other one, she's called Norn for a reason. She's called Why are you hating on Norm? You just have to wait and see. Don't worry, Norm is a good character. She really is. But right now, like most of the characters in Mushoku Tensei, which is always a pattern, you always start disliking them. You know, whether it's Eris or Paul, or even some other characters like Zanoba, or even his brother, you know, Pat. You'll be very surprised by how your perspective, viewpoints, and your image of them changes throughout the story. So all you gotta do is wait and see what happens next. But anyways, Roger our boy's back. The question is he was the main person that Paul was talking about, I guess, which is nice. The other thing I like about the series, you'll never know when certain characters are gonna pop up. You know, you'll never expect them. It's when you least expect them. So the question is, when are you going to see Eris again? Sorry people, you're not going to see Eris all of season 2. I'm sorry. You're not, unless they do that spin-off thingy, who knows? I don't know how they're going to do that, but you're not going to see Eris until like mid-season 3 or something. Unless they do the side stories of her training and everything like that. But other than that, nah, no Eris. It's going to be just, it's mostly going to be Rudius and Selphie. And then in volume 12, I believe we'll see Roxy again and Paul and them stuff. But that's for very major events, which I will not spoil. It's one of the highly claimed best volumes of the series is volume 12. And you'll find out why when that time happens. So I look forward to them adapting Volume 12, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Volume 11 itself is just as good when it comes to character development and perspective. You know, you'll have that insight on everybody in the situations that you can relate to yourself and really relate to the situation as well. It's very intriguing. So with that being said, that's where I'll leave this video today. There'll be not much Mushoku Tensei content lately. Well, unless they show more pictures of the final volume, volume 26, because as I recall, is this month is supposed to come out of Mushoku Tensei's final volume of the main series. Will they do redundancy? I'll talk make a video about that some other day, probably next week. So anyways, that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and of course hit that bell icon. This has the background on anime. Signing out.